Okay, hello everyone. I'm PJ, and today we going to talk with two stupid devs, uh, developers that are in our Destructive Creations family since not very long actually. And the project they are working on is Space Riders in Space. And let's see what they can say about it. Hello, guys.
Well,
Hello there.
Hello. With me is Nick and Lauren, two stupid devs. actually, actually, this name is really funny, and I think that it shows a lot about your humor and about your style of doing games. Actually.
and intellectual capabilities.
Okay. Mm, okay, some minor technical issues, and we've done a nice splash screen today with. I think this is the animators from the beginning of your game. The animation that shows you both talking to each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Your logo is actually you.
Exactly. These are our kind of characters. We use them also in the game, in the tutorial segments and stuff like that. Every now and then one of us will pop in and insult the player or do something like that.
Yeah,
So-
I'm the orange guy, just so you know.
Yeah,
Next
you're
to blue one.
incredibly set on being the orange guy.
Oh yeah, my favorite color.
Your orange is your favorite color, so it was the obvious choice. Okay, so maybe start with just tell us what are Space Riders in Space, and yeah,
Lauren,
we
you
have.
want to take it away?
No, you go for it.
Okay. But we rehearsed this for 4 hours, man. Jesus, throw it all away right at the first minute. Okay. So Space Raiders in Space is a comic book themed wave defense game and squad management, and with some roguelike elements as well. Basically, you have a group of idiots that you try and keep alive as they scavenge for resources on through different environments.
Okay.
And then with these resources, you build different kinds of defenses, walls, turrets, traps, and try and last as long as you can on each map to get as much resources. And then when you think that you won't be able to make it any longer, then you move on to the next map and hope you guessed right.
I would say
Okay.
that's a perfect description right there, Nick.
Thank you.
Nailed it.
Yeah, as you said, is the game is very influenced by comic book. I think the comic books are something that is the main theme of the game, besides breaking the fourth wall, obviously. But if you are playing game, there's one mention that only Unique are the comic books fans. Lauren is not really.
Yeah, that's a true statement. It's interesting because like I'm not a comic book reader. I enjoy novels, and comic books always felt like I was like stuck between watching a movie or reading a book.
Hmm.
But we were designing the graphics. Like Nick's, he's terrific at post processing. He took the lead on this and came up with this beautiful look with like this edging and like this cell shaded style effect. We're taking a look at it and we're like, this is really close to like a drawing. And we were like, what if everything was vaguely comic themed? And so I like the comic book styling. Like you can see in our videos, we got little bangs and pows and thumps and things. I think those are super cool. So that's where we went to comic books, and I still have not read one. So
Hmm. Do you guess? Nick?
I love how, Lauren, you mentioned there that something vaguely comic book themed. Like 1 year later, fucking 25th page of hand illustrated story mode comics.
Yeah,
Slightly
it's
comic book themed.
it's transformed a little bit over the time. It was definitely just supposed to be like a style in the beginning, and now it's like taking over our lives. It's nuts.
I've read entire essays on how to properly letter comic books. I didn't
Okay.
even know it was a job. I thought just the guy who drew the comics on the page also just put in the words. No. There's like layers of theories on how to put letters into a speech bubble.
Mm-hmm.
My mind is blown.
Okay, so you went from the influence, like making a game influenced with comic book, to making a game that is a comic book actually.
That's definitely what happened, and
Yeah.
that was because of our story mode upgrade. We really leaned into the comic book with that thing.
That was an opportunity. Ever since I was little, I was a huge fan of the original Sin City comics.
Mhm.
You know, kind of black and white style. And, I don't know. I felt it was a super awesome style. And as Lauren mentioned, I love playing with post processing and shaders and stuff like that. And I kind of started experimenting with some of our environments and our characters. And I came up with a post processing effect that actually resembled the original Sin City style
Mhm.
pretty closely. And that's what kind of got me excited about really diving whole hog into making a fully illustrated graphic novel for our story mode.
Mhm.
And I had no idea how much fucking work it would be when I thought of that. The first page was so much fun and so easy and full of inspiration and ideas. 25 pages later, holy fuck, it's hard to make a comic book.
And making the game that is comic book, I think it's is even harder. One more thing, if you our guest from the chat, if you have any questions to developers, you can ask them freely. Just type your question, and yeah, you can ask Two Stupid Devs anyone you want. Yeah, when we can buy it? Okay, there's one question. Actually, the game is in early access. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
Currently, it's in.
Mhm.
You go for it, Nick. Go for it.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man! Let me drink.
I will send the link to point of sales.
Lauren, that was a cue for you to take over, man.
Okay, so yeah, so we're in early access, and that was an interesting choice of ours. We had a lot of tumultuous like how to get the game in the beginning. We were hoping that we could develop the game and push it out and rely on some charity of the player base, and things didn't work out the way we wanted them to. We wound up moving to early access and vastly expanding the scope of the game and put a price tag on it. So it's available in early access. You'll get all of the things that we do for free. We're not planning anything at this particular juncture.
Mm-hmm.
I have to admit, the early access process was quite interesting. Just for example, what we've been working on now for I think the past month is the whole story mode, these hand illustrated comics and all of that. And we went into early access with none of that. We had so much, like the game has really changed drastically since we first put it out in early access. It's kind of weird when I look back at like the original screenshots and whips, like where every single map has also been redone.
Mm-hmm.
Literally the entire game doesn't even look like the same game as when it first opened up. And that was only like, what, 2 months ago? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when do you think the final version of the game will be out?
Oh,
More or less.
When is done is always a complicated question for a game because there's always more you want to do. But I think we're planning on like the 1.0 version of the game with the full story mode and all of that in around end of summer, maybe like late August, I think. But as I said, the game is available currently. You can play it, and you'll see all the new things that we're adding in on a daily basis.
Okay. Yeah, very cool game with the pop art style. Yeah, this is something that is very accurate. One more thing really attracted me in the game when I was playing it was, as I mentioned before, the breaking the fourth wall thing. When you are playing the game, you actually feel like you guys are next to me, talking to me, or like insulting each other. And I'm curious, where did you get idea of this? And actually, there's not only the developers that are breaking the fourth wall, but also the you are talking with the player, and also the characters talking with you. So it's actually like very immersive thing, and very unusual. Besides the art style, that is something really new. Then this breaking fourth wall is also the thing that is very new, and I'm curious what was the idea behind it.
So we actually went with the breaking the fourth wall. It largely as part of our two stupid devs motif, which is that we love the process of making a game, and we think that that's an opportunity for other people to join in that process. We have a Discord channel where you can come, you can just hang out with us while we make the game, and that's where the breaking of the fourth wall, I think, really what we're trying to do is we're trying to pull you in, and you know you're playing a game, we know you're playing a game, so let's just talk right to you. Let's have the characters. In fact, they know they're playing a game. That's kind of where we went with it.
Yeah.
I think the objective is really what you just said before, is that you feel like we're there with you. And that's kind of what our goal was, because we had so much fun making this game, and we are having so much fun making this game, and we want to kind of help share that fun with the player. I actually remember the moment when we first thought of the idea of breaking the third wall. We were discussing, before we even built the first map of the game, we were discussing about if a character, like, we don't want to have doors. If a character walks up to a door, then we'll have to trigger open the door, and it's just more work. And we were trying to figure out how to like just get out of as much work as possible. And someone mentioned, what if they just walk through the door and we don't give a fuck? And then someone was like, maybe we could do that. But I don't, like, some people won't find it funny. Some people are like, oh, that's just a bug. And I said, okay, what if then we point it out and the character says, wait, what, did I just phase through that fucking door? What the fuck is happening? And then I forget who said it, once in the same concept, okay, what if that's still not funny? And then we were like, okay, well, then someone else will comment about that stupid joke that was based on a bug in the game by lazy game developers was also not funny. And kind of just push it to the ridiculous point where you kind of just have to laugh at the insanity. And we can all laugh about how shitty some of the jokes are together.
Yeah, also this kind of attitude during the development makes the player expect anything. Like I never knew when I was playing it what another crazy idea will come up to me after a couple of actions that I will take. And I think that's good. It's give a lot of freedom to the developing process for you.
That it definitely does.
Yeah. What are we seeing now during the B-roll? We are playing the gameplay from the strip club level. Can you tell a little bit about it?
I actually can't see the stream. Maybe I was supposed to be looking
well,
at something.
I'll talk to you for a bit then. I'm watching this.
Okay, as my wife says, I am the stupider of the two devs.
So
she's incredibly supportive.
I'm not sure how we came about that we decided we wanted to do a strip club level, but it's featured in our story mode. It's one of the stops in it, and the strip club level really clarifies our stance on video gaming, which is that, you know, like, nothing's sacred, nothing's serious. We have a robo stripper, which we affectionately call a robo hoe or a hobot or whatever you're feeling like at the moment. That's where she is, and she just danced up a storm. Your characters are stationed around her trying to defend it. The story mode has a justification for it. You get to hear all the characters' reasons why they're there and things like that. So we're hoping the story mode establishes some buy-in. But once you're playing like the RNG mode of the game, the endless mode where you're just going for a high score, the motivation more becomes what kind of cool shit can we find, and how long can we hold this place down? And at that point, that's what you're doing in the strip club. You're hunkered down next to the hobot and trying to survive.
Okay, I love the hobot.
I think everyone does. There's one. So in the RNG mode, kind of the difference is in story mode. In between each stop, there's a few pages of a interactive comic book that kind of help progress the story. Whereas in RNG mode, you get a map introduction,
Mhm.
which will have some kind of bizarre setup
Mhm.
and then some decisions for the player to make. And
Mhm.
one of, I think, probably both of our favorite map introductions of like the 60 or something is you discover the Hobot and your group of raiders starts arguing over what you should officially call a robot who dances for credits.
Mhm.
And Hobot is one of the options. My personal favorite is you should call her Crystal, obviously.
But Hobot is so up to date if you take all the automatic sex dolls.
Exactly.
The future is now.
Exactly.
Okay. Guess if we have some questions from the chat, but I see that Lauren, you are active there.
Yeah, I'm responding to the questions that they got. We can pull in ones that are more interesting. Like for instance, he asked if there was a big boss in there,
Mhm.
which is an interesting question because we've been playing around with the idea of like the story mode is capped out with like some kind of big boss,
Mhm.
and that got us started on the idea that like we could just take our normal monsters and make them badass, and then that guys could be like mini bosses. And we definitely just took this idea that was like something that Nick and I were like playing around with for like a hot second, and now it's like a crucial part of the game is that these mini bosses are coming every few waves, and they're all different,
Mhm.
and they all wreck your defenses or challenge your setups in their own unique ways, and so that's definitely something that's in the game, and I'm quite glad it's in there.
Yeah. Okay. So, in general, what are the plans for the future development of the game? You said about the story mode that you are developing this one. I guess it will not be all.
Nick,
You
you
can-
want
you-
to talk about our plans?
Yeah. So currently we're working on this first story mode, and I need a couple more maps in and a second RNG based game mode. And after that, we have a few different things we'd like to do. We have some other ideas for story modes we'd like to do. However, what the timeline is on that, we haven't sorted out yet. I guess with anyone who has created a project of passion, they always have an endless list of things they would love to do.
Yeah.
So we're in the same situation. But for the moment, what is set is that there'll be this first story mode coming out and another couple maps and a few more sets of weapons, including the dolphin gun, which is fucking amazing. And you still haven't got in-game, Lauren.
I haven't.
I worked so fucking hard on that dolphin gun with the little dolphin dicks as triggers. It's an artistic masterpiece. And yeah, so that's where what we're planning right now.
Yeah, so to add on to that is it's interesting the way we designed this game is that we're just two people, and so I'm doing all of the coding, Nick's doing all of the art, and this is disproportionately not a good thing for Nick because there's so much art in this game. There's menus, there's pop-ups, there's icons, and all this, and so I created the system for buildables and for weapons, but I need him to go in there and make more stuff, and that's like where it's like we all have so many ideas. We got like 14 unique weapons in there, and I would love to have another 14 or 30 unique weapons that are all unique and crazy in their own way. We could go. We got floppy dolphins. We have an accessory system now, but accessories are difficult to make. I would love to do more accessories. We have angel wings and a big flopping dildo that like
strap-on dildo for hands-free for hands-free functionality.
So if you get one of those character traits that's like angelic, you get the angel wings. If you get the Dong Master trait, then you have one of those. I would love to do more accessories. Our whole story mode is actually just wildly impressive, and I would love to do more stories. I don't know that I want to write them. This has proven to really push my limits on the ability to write, but I would love for there to be more in the game. So our solidified future plans are definitely finishing up story mode. We have another couple buildables I want to make sure to get into the game, and then from there it's really going to depend on how things go, what our future looks like, how well the people respond, things like that.
And also what the people like most. That's an important thing. Like since we came out in early access, every single one of the development tasks since then, so for the past 2 months, have been solely based on the feedback we've been getting. Like the bosses that Lauren mentioned earlier on, that was an idea from one of the people who joined and started playing the game on through early access. The story mode even actually wasn't our idea originally. Someone else mentioned it in our Discord server, and then everyone started getting on board with it, saying like, yeah, that's awesome, we really want that. And that's what actually led us to do this. So I think a lot of our future also depends on what the players want, what they enjoy most, where do they want more detail added.
Yeah, because it's very important to mention that you are very close to your community, and when you are playing the game, you during the tutorial you can jump to the Discord very easily and get
They
invited.
trick you into it sometimes.
Yes, you are invited many times to join your Discord, and yeah, and I think that I posted your Discord channel on our chat. So everybody interested can find it, join, leave your feedback, and help to develop this beautiful game. Thank you guys for joining.
Thank you so much for having us.
And I'm sure that in the very near future you will get some updates from Two Stupid Devs. And I'm very happy to have you in our Destructive Creations family.
We're glad to be here.
Yeah,
Yes.
very true. This
So
has been 2 weeks together so far, and
Yeah.
Jesus, it has been crazy.
it was. But this is the very beginning, so get ready for more. And
Oh Jesus.
okay, we are finishing this stream, but Angie will take care of another part of the stream. She will be playing a little bit of Space Riders in Space, also Ancestors Legacy, so stay tuned to our Discord and Facebook. And thank you guys, we've been hosting Two Stupid Devs, Nick and Lauren. Thank you.